This pickup truck accelerates violently with over 1,000 horsepower, which I confirmed. However, there have been complaints, and, above all, a problem that I had to experience myself, which was not pleasant at all. And I'm going to tell you about it in this video with a graphic demonstration of what happened to me. It has a feature that's represented by a funny little character, but when you try it out off-road, it really means business. But does it cost you as much as a house, and why is it so expensive? Well, I'm going to tell you that in this video. Welcome, intro. At the front, obviously there's no traditional grille. Everything is very closed off, very clean, typical of an electric vehicle. The continuous light strip gives it that characteristic look that's very recognizable when you see it at night. You know it's a Rivian. We have the combination of LED projector headlights in this vertical shape, along with the horizontal light strip. I think they create a good harmony in this part of the front. You have some functionality here for battery cooling. And you have recovery hooks because with this Rivian, you get some really good off-road features. I'll talk to you about that later. On the sides, what we see is that the design is quite straight, but let's say a bit muscular. It looks wide and low for a pickup, and the big rims really fill the wheel arches. I think it has some features that give it a certain aggressiveness to its look on the side. And that character of the Rivian is really accentuated with these rims. Look how nice the Rivian logo looks. It looks really good there. In those colors, also yellow, it says Rivian there. Also, the tire with the off-road texture. 275 width, 65 profile, they're 20-inch rims. Oh, and look, how nice. You can also see the Rivian's turquoise brakes, which stand out among the other colors. In my opinion, it's one of the best features. What are your thoughts on this tire for the Rivian R1T? And to access the charging port, look how it's done. It's interesting, you just slide your fingers there. On a small mark with 3 lines, it opens and you have the port. And something else important about the Rivian is that the charging port is compatible with Tesla chargers. To close it, you just slide there and the cover falls back into place. Well, and now the rain has caught me here. That doesn't stop me from sharing my experience driving the Rivian. And honestly, the first thing that surprises you is how easy it is to drive, despite how fast it is. Of course, we're about to get on a highway, but it's definitely a very, very pleasant drive. I'm starting to accelerate. You can control several driving modes from here, and it's in conserve mode to save more energy, like the most economical one. You can switch it to the driving mode called all-purpose for general use. You can feel a jolt there as the vehicle picks up speed, and on the highway, like I am now, well, let's put it in sport mode. I press it, and wow, this thing flies. It really flies. Ha 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 ha. It flies silently, but it definitely flies. I mean, it accelerates aggressively, and I like that. But now let's talk about the engine, and this is where the Rivian R1T gets pretty serious. This is symbolic, because here what you have is a front trunk, a storage space, what they call the frunk. There's no internal combustion engine. Instead, it has 4 electric motors, 1 per wheel, and that's going to be especially useful for one of the features I mentioned at the beginning. And that's the kick turn. It's something that will allow you to do off-road maneuvers with much more versatility. But anyway, this Rivian gives you a power output of 1,025 horsepower, more than 1,000 horsepower at your disposal. And on top of that, it has 1,198 pound-feet of torque. It has a brutal push. This Rivian definitely has power, and it also has good features that will be very useful to you, especially when it comes to off-roading. The battery has about 140 kilowatt hours and provides an estimated range. I prefer to share my actual experience. I was getting close to 300 miles. They say it's over 300, that it's 374. Well, that's going to depend on a very conservative driving style. From my experience, the most I got was about 300 miles, so that's a realistic expectation. And now let's talk about the interior, because the cabin also has a lot of technology and some really interesting things, since it's very expensive. But the interior, can you see where your payment goes? If you're enjoying the video, please like it and do me a favor. People are cloning, copying, and stealing my content to create channels that aren't Freedy CarPower 360's. CarPower 360. If you subscribe, which I appreciate, please make sure it's to Freddy. CarPower 360. I don't think it's fair that someone else is taking the content when maybe they should focus elsewhere. It's just not fair. So, I kindly ask you that if you're going to subscribe, which I invite and encourage you to do, it's a way to show your support and I truly appreciate it. please make sure it's to Freedy Car Power 360. Also, because a lot of people will be interested in learning about the Rivian, they'll want to know all the information I'm bringing you. And on the channel, I have a lot more information, so welcome to the channel if you subscribe. Let's check out the cabin of this Rivian. Honestly, it's really interesting. I really like it, and that's all. I'll start showing you the dashboards. I'll explain this figure later, but for now, I'll close it here. Check out all its off-roading options. It's more than just a city showpiece truck. People don't just ask if you have a $100,000 Rivian. They see you use it off-road for fun. There's the electric charging issue, but it has all the gadgets for it. Different driving modes for off-road. Rock crawl, climbing rocks, soft sand. That is, sand or soft dirt. There's a rally mode and a drift mode for off-road too. You can also adjust the height of the body, and you can also adjust the ride quality here. Do you have it set to good? I'll explain this to you next, right here. Press the brake pedal. Okay, I need to explain this here. Traction control, obviously. This kick turn lets you do something interesting, and it's represented here because it's kind of like this. Kind of like a karate move, because it's a function that will let you make a pretty tight turn when driving off-road. It's not to be used on pavement, and it clearly says so. It's not for asphalt, but for off-road, for when you have a need to... a tight turn. I'll show you how it works, because it uses four-wheel steering to make the turning radius even smaller. Besides that, it gives you a lot of information. It includes a compass that shows your direction, elevation, pitch, roll, and tilt, helping you track performance during off-road maneuvers. You also get information on tire pressure and engine temperatures. And look here, it looks like there are ghosts. You can see little ghost figures, like people. It's meant to visually show what's happening around the car, but I don't see anything here or there. I don't know who those people are that are showing up. Could it be that ghosts are passing by here? Well, I don't know, but it's just a dashboard. The instrumentation gives you the map, it gives you various information, and some of the information that the main screen gives you is also shown on the instrument panel. I really like the steering and the color combination. The O. The Rivian logo seems interesting to me. One of the things you have to get used to when you drive this Rivian is that you will have to use the mirrors. For example, you can't adjust the driving position, let's say, with a lever. Well, the driving position. Yes, here I do have the levers. Let's open it. Yes, exactly. Here I do have the levers, but the position of the mirrors and the telescopic steering, everything is controlled from here. I'll show you how it's done, so when you have a Rivian, you won't waste time searching. Press here to see the Rivian display. If you want to move the left mirror, you move it from here. Or the right mirror, this is to turn on the lights. Also, if you want to do this with the mirrors, fold them. In case you're entering a very tight space between walls, you can do it. And the entire interface is digital, so unlike conventional models, there aren't any knobs attached to the mirrors. The rest of the interior looks great. The seats with Rivian inscribed add a luxurious touch. For a truck over $100,000, it should have this quality. And I think you also have speakers here. And look at the roof. The actual roof of the truck, which is this one here, not this glass like the Lucid has or like other vehicles have. That's the glass roof. This also adds elegance to the Rivian. The back seat is easy to access and very comfortable. You feel elevated, and the materials are high quality and soft. Here it has a handle, speakers, a hook to hang your coat, jacket, or whatever, and you have your pockets. In addition to a digital display for the air conditioning controls, it also has here, to turn on the light. There's also a camera system for the turn signals. Activating them shows the image for added safety. Despite having large lines, the handling is quite comfortable, right? However, you can feel some imperfections from the road. The cabin transmits them. Yes, a little, but it doesn't really bother me. What do I like? I enjoy the comfort and how cozy and comfortable the cabin feels. Regarding the screens, we have the screen, we put the map on, for example, very good definition, spectacular, so you have no problem there. You can split the screen into modules for the radio station and visibility frame. The instrument panel is also very comfortable and feels good, and it has that graphical representation. I don't know if you can see there the vehicles that are around. Using the camera sensors, it provides a graphical display in Tesla style. Dynamic behavior and curves is also quite good. With good grip there, good stability. There's not much body roll, but there's something that's even more impressive. And I was saying about the acceleration. that it accelerates violently. Well, in theory, you can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but as a sample, here's a button. Let's stop here. Stepping on the gas should deliver much more, accelerating from 0 to 60 or 0 to 97 kilometers per hour quickly. I mean, I can't even make it to the traffic light up ahead. And for that, well, let's see if I had it in sport mode to get the most out of it. There it is in sport. And 3, 2, 1. Ha! It went right past, but I've done this before with other vehicles, going from 0 to 60 more or less. Almost when I'm getting to the traffic light, sometimes that's when I reach 60 miles per hour. Well, not right at the light, but closer. This one got there just like that, in a flash. In the rear part, we see a well-designed short cargo bed with the necessary width. The tailgate looks good, and the LED lights running through it emphasize the width. And honestly, everything feels well put together. And if you had complained about a lack of huh. Yeah, right. Maverick is really useful, but how much can it tow at its max? Well, when it's properly equipped, it can tow up to 11,000 pounds. That's no small feat. Payload capacity is 1,764 pounds. Now, let's discuss the negatives. What complaints and problems has it faced? Rivian has had recalls and service bulletins for software and suspension problems. I personally dealt with one, which I mentioned earlier and want to discuss now. I had that problem while heading out at midnight on December 31st to celebrate New Year 2026. I went out a little after midnight, it was extremely cold. I got to the truck, to the Rivian, and when I tried to start it, it wouldn't turn on and I got an error message. Here's a message from this video. You can see it was doing a software update, which I didn't expect. You're supposed to be able to control when it does those updates, but if it catches you off guard, like it did with me, I didn't have the chance to make that adjustment. The software made me wait about 15 minutes without being able to start. I was freezing, literally. The situation wasn't the most comfortable. I just wanted to go home, and I found myself in that situation. These things happen with electric vehicles. With all this technology, including over-the-air updates, which are also present in vehicles, but in this one in particular. He told me he couldn't press the pedals, he couldn't press any buttons, he couldn't do anything at all. Not until the software update was finished. That wasn't a pleasant experience. Now that you have the Rivian, honestly, how much does it cost today? Well, the price is high, I assure you, since it ranges from $117,000 to $121,000. Wow, that could pay for a one-bedroom apartment in the United States, at least in some areas, since real estate prices have risen a lot. But anyway, there you have the price of this Rivian. Really, with that money, what else? I mean, would you buy it for all the features it has, everything it offers you in terms of versatility? And obviously, the electric part has to be a fundamental factor. Would you buy it or not? That's a question I'd like you to answer in the comments. And if not, what other vehicle, with that money in your hand, in your pocket, or in your bank account, would you make a good purchase? There you have it. The Rivian R1T costing over $100,000, about the price of a property. What would you do with that money? What was the feature you liked the most? Really? It's a pickup truck. What would you consider? What did you like the most about this Rivian? I want to read your thoughts in the comments section. As always, please subscribe, like the video, and join me next time. Here's another related video for you. Sending a big hug. See you later.